And let's have another look at that goal, because there's so many talking points to it. From a Manchester United point of view, as you've pointed out, Michael, very frustrating. 13 minutes into the brand new season, such a simple way to concede what has turned out to be the winning goal.
Yeah, I think, like you say, it's just so simple. I mean, Arsenal have not had to do a great deal. Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure on him, he's off backing in. The worrying for me is that Saliba moves the goalkeeper. You know, that's his zone. He's got to boss that 3-4 yards out, really, and he's got to be moving Saliba, really, and he gets moved, and then he's off balance. He's in a weak position. He can't get any contact on it. It's just so simple and straightforward, really, and a kind of deflating one to concede so early on.
For me, he ends up having the battle with Saliba too late. The ball's already on flight, and he's trying to battle now. That's when a keeper, you've got to do your work early, have the battle early doors, make sure you're dominant, and then when the ball's coming in the air, you've got to be in a position then to go and make an intent and go and punch it or whatever. Look, he's too late. He's got to step away then. The ball's already in flight. Now, look, he's on his own. He's trying to fight him now, and that ball's delivered.
I'd like to see him bouncing on his toes. If you look at his feet, he's almost flattened. His body is kind of dead, you know. If you're on your toes, your body's primed and it's ready to sprint, and he's a bit kind of passive, really.
He's got to do as well, Mike. He's got to be trying to get himself around Saliba so as he can get to the ball first. He's got his hands.
Got to be active, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to be hands. So he's waiting, and then he's trying to punch it with the wrong hand.
If anyone goes in that 6-yard box, the keepers I've played with, back in the day, there was things that were happening because of VAR they wouldn't do now. There's a few keepers I've played with, can't do it nowadays. But that is your area. You've got to dominate. Domain. That's your domain. That's your area. Look, there's no way he's getting bossed completely here. But he's having the battle, the physical battle, as the ball's coming in. And he's got to step away so that he gets a little bit of a run-up, a two-step, and then he can punch that ball. But he's not. He's battling. He's having a fight. And the rest,
kind of gets surprised by it, probably.
Yeah.
He should be looking for it, knowing it's coming, and actually him being the one that's the proactive one, and like you said, being elusive so he can come and get it. But he looks like he's surprised by the contact, and then he's fighting a losing battle after that.
The big problem you've got now, you've left Onana out. We've seen Onana make so many mistakes. The manager already this game has got a goalkeeping problem after one game, because people are seeing that now. The defence are knowing that he hasn't dealt with it. The keeper himself has got to do what I call re-editing in his mind in some sort of way, that the next game that he's gonna learn from that and be better. But you've got a weakness already, as well as United. Well, as well as I think they deserved at least a draw out the game, and there were some really good things, but they've got a really major problem already after one match.
Yeah, well, Arsenal have done their homework clearly, because he had an issue in the League Cup tie at Tottenham last season in a very similar situation, and they've said let's test him early on.
I think if Onana was in goal, they'd do the same, because the delivery from Arsenal is very good. There's a lot of bodies around. I even think that William Saliba, where I remember there was a time last season, the season before, Ben White would be really amongst the goalkeeper to the point where you're thinking, Ben, get away from him a bit. But I think that William Saliba is really passive. And the goalkeeper, I think, to the point where the goalkeeper can move him, like you're saying, Mike, so as he could get to the ball. So I just think that the ball's a great ball in. I think the goalkeeper's got himself in all sorts of problems. And for a start, he gets himself in a position where he can't even punch it with his strong hand. But it is a good ball in. It was a great ball in.
Yeah. And then did we see David Raya in a similar situation almost show by India what he should be doing?
Well, again, you can look at the situation. You can see they're going to put the ball into an area where, look, there's players around him, but watch what he does. He gets himself into a situation. Watch him now. Watch, bang, where he's on his, like you're saying, Mike, he's on his toe. Watch him there. Look, bang, on his toes, off his feet, seeing the ball, punching it away with his strong hand.
Yeah, I think when you go to the early shot there and you see him bounce from me, it tells me what's going on in your head. If you're dead and your body's dead and you're a bit flat and you're almost like switched off. He was bouncing, he was almost looking forward. Like we said at the start a little bit about embracing the challenge. Yeah. You've got to embrace centre half, you're defending your box, goalkeeper, you've got to think, this is me, I'm having a bit of this is me. And embrace that, and don't be a little bit waiting to see what's going to happen. You've got to go make it happen. I just thought that the body language between the two almost took on the challenge, and one clears it, one doesn't, and that in the end, that's the game that we're sat here talking about.
Yeah, and that's the fine margin sometimes in these games.
Oh, very much so, and that's why Arsenal have been brilliant from set plays last season and this start off this season. The difference is when you score from set plays, however it's from corners, when they come from the back post, or this time bodies in the 6-yard box, you get a belief about yourself. You go into that box believing you're going to score. All them centre-backs going up, I'm going to be the one scoring. The strikers, obviously, they've worked at different situations, different scenarios, using the body, putting the goalie under pressure. There's a little run, the two little runs that we didn't talk about on the edge of the box. There's a little plan going there where he could have pulled it back, and I think Odegaard was ready to shoot. So that's another little plan that they got. But they have this belief. They say, now we're going to score again. And at the end of the day, that has been the difference between the 3 points. Because United, you can't tell me United weren't a better team on the day. They probably created a little bit more than Arsenal did, but that was the vital part of the game. And now that goalkeeper really has got to really do some work on himself, as well as the coaches and the goalkeeping coach, because that becomes a big problem, a massive wall that can build up if he doesn't do a lot of work mentally on that.
Yeah, well, how important is that? They spent over 200 million at one end of the pitch to still have this issue that you're all talking about at the other.
It's fine margins for a goalkeeper in that respect, you know. And but like Glenn said, that it quickly spreads both ways. You know, that commanding presence, belief. Yeah, this is us. We're strong. To the other way of a little bit of unsure. Who's going to come? Shall I head it? Is he keep coming? Are we a little bit? Don't give a corner away. Oh, it's a long throw. All of a sudden, it can spiral both ways. You know, it's definitely something that has caused them an issue today. It's caused them an issue over a period of time now, and you need that foundation and that backbone to then spread through the back four or the back five.
Which you experienced with Edwin van der Sar, didn't you? Back in the day in that team.
And that composure and that belief that the goalkeeper gives you is, as I said, it spreads, and it spreads quickly, and it can go in both directions pretty quickly. You obviously want the positive nature, and to be fair to Arsenal, they got that today.
I think that the goalkeeping problem from De Gea all the way to where we are now, obviously we've seen what's happened with Andre Onana, seen Bayern today, nowhere near it. Man United with the amount of money like you just mentioned, and rightly as well, in the monies that they've spent, they need more goals. I think, like I said, they scored goals last season, what was relegation form. If it weren't for Bruno, I don't know where they would have been. So they've addressed that, and I think that Cunha and Mbeumo were very good today. But what's the point if your goalkeepers are going to be that bad? They need to. I don't know what's happening with Donnarumma. He weren't playing the other day. I don't know if he's coming here. I don't know if he's going. Don't know where he's going. But they really do need to sort that goalkeeping situation out, because they've lost the game on that. It's very soft. It's a hard one to take, to lose it on that. Because I thought the players, especially people like De Ligt, I thought he played very well today. Cunha played well. Even Mbeumo for his debut, they played very, very well. They deserve to lose a game like that on a goalkeeper's poor technique. It's a terrible way to lose the game.
Do you think, we've no idea where the budget's up to, and they've obviously got to get players out, but that might have enforced the need before August the 31st to get somebody in, goalkeeper-wise?
I think they need a keeper. They do. And I think that will enhance that. I think the manager will sit down with his staff and think about that. They've got to shift some people out, I would imagine. But, you know, if you're going to have your spine of a team, everyone talks about having your spine and being a successful team. The great teams have always had that. You start with a goalkeeper. And if you've got a problem there after one match, you know, Onana comes back in, everyone's going to be like, well, you know, there's mistakes last year. So he's got a real problem already.
Well, let's talk live to the man who benefited from that error, following in the match winner. Riccardo Calafiori is waiting to speak to us at Old Trafford. Riccardo, great to see you. Well done. How good does that feel? Winning goal, first day of the season away at Old Trafford.
Everybody. Yeah, obviously it was a great feeling. I couldn't start better than this. Obviously it was a tough game, but we managed to get the 3 points at the end.
And you and your Premier League goals, I mean, we saw you score at the Etihad. You now scored the winner at Old Trafford and that winner at Wolves. They're all big, important ones.
Yeah, I mean, when you score and you get the 3 points because of your goal, is even more important, as you said. And yeah, that's a good start. We just have to keep going like that.
Is that the importance here of you following in, always expecting an error?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's see, game by game as well.
Is that something you'd highlighted, though? I mean, we know you're so strong from set pieces and the amount of goals you score from that area.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking before about this. We just working every day, every week. If possible, we have to improve every season, because the other teams, they study us and they know how to defend. So we just have to. Bye-bye.
That's the man who settled it in the end. And as we were saying earlier on, Wrighty, they're so good defensively. Another clean sheet to start the season today. That if they can nick games like that, that puts themselves in a real situation.
But obviously, like I said, I think our front players today didn't really fire as well as even when we did break Manchester United's press and we got through. I thought the final ball, maybe it was from Martin or from Saka or whoever it was, it just wasn't quite gelling today. But like again, it's a good sign when you can win like that. But at the same time, you do want to see more shots. Obviously, watching Liverpool, watching City, they looked really potent with what they were doing. They looked really vibrant with what they were doing. And maybe we might take a few games to get into that. But it's going to be a tough start for us. But we still have to take that and think, it's not gone well up to in respect to our first game to blast the team. But like those guys, City are playing Wolves who normally start pretty poorly, and Liverpool playing Bournemouth. Respect to the teams, but it's games you'd expect them to win. This is a tough first game for Arsenal. Yes, you'd like to have seen us maybe play a little bit better and see some more signs of what's to come, but we won the game, and I think that's what's most important.
Yeah, you'd be delighted just getting on the bus now with that level of performance.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got really influential players for Arsenal. Rice, Saka, those two, for instance, nowhere near their best today. We hardly saw them actually affect the game in a positive way, but they're getting on that bus, going on the plane, getting home, and they've got 3 points tucked away. It's a great feeling because you can't play perfect football, particularly in the Premier League. Yeah. You can't play perfect football and be offensive and everything go your way. So when that happens, it's a great weekend. You win 3-0, it's fabulous. But no, that's a really, really good win for Arsenal with the way that they performed. Their goalkeeper come up trumps with what he had to do. He'd done it well. Yeah. The vital punch, a couple of saves. And they defended really stoutly. United had two sort of half chances, really, during the game.